Once Hollywood's brightest stars, these actors held the keys to fame and fortune. But now, they find themselves behind bars, their names forever tied to shocking crimes that have destroyed their careers and lives. From murder and abuse to fraud and betrayal, these 17 actors went from red carpets to prison cells, revealing the dark side of fame. What drove them from the heights of success to the depths of crime? Prepare to uncover the painful truths behind their fall from grace. These are the actors you'd never recognize today. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, once one of the most powerful film moguls in Hollywood, now serves as a cautionary tale of abuse, power, and the long overdue reckoning brought about by the number sign Me Too movement. The former producer, who was behind countless critically acclaimed films, is currently in prison based on the allegations of two women, Miriam Haley and Jessica Mann. However, their voices represent just a fraction of the accusations against him. According to USA Today, an astonishing 87 women came forward with accounts of sexual abuse and misconduct spanning decades. Weinstein's downfall began in 2018, when he was arrested in New York and charged with rape, criminal sex act, sex abuse, and sexual misconduct for incidents involving two separate women. Among those who testified against Weinstein at the trial was actor Annabella Sciorra, who said that Weinstein burst into her apartment after dinner and raped her. "I said, no," Sciorra testified, "but there was not much I could do at that point. My body shut down. It was just so disgusting that my body started to shake in a way that was unusual. I didn't really even know what was happening. It was like a seizure." His case didn't stop there. Investigators in California and London also began scrutinizing the disgraced producer for similar crimes. The allegations against him revealed a pattern of predatory behavior, where Weinstein allegedly used his position of power to intimidate and exploit women in the industry. Before standing trial, Weinstein managed to post $1 million bail and was ordered to wear an ankle monitor. As the investigation unfolded, Weinstein faced a slew of charges, including rape in the first and third degrees, a first-degree criminal sexual act, and other felonies. Throughout the legal battle, he maintained his innocence, insisting that his encounters were consensual. A spokeswoman even told USA Today, "Any allegations of non-consensual sex are unequivocally denied by Mr. Weinstein." In 2020, the court delivered a landmark verdict. Weinstein was found guilty of a criminal sexual act against Miriam Haley and rape in the third degree. However, he was acquitted of predatory sexual assault and first-degree rape against Jessica Mann. The split verdict underscored the complexity of the case, but still marked a significant victory for survivors of sexual violence. Weinstein was sentenced to 23 years in prison in New York State's Mohawk Correctional Facility, about 100 miles north of Albany. It is ending the career of a man who had once held Hollywood in the palm of his hand. Ryan Grantham. Ryan Grantham was a promising young Canadian actor whose career seemed full of potential. He appeared in nearly 40 movies and TV shows, gaining recognition for his talent. His acting debut came in 2007 with The Secret of the Nutcracker, followed by a role in the sci-fi action film Jumper in 2008. Grantham continued to land significant roles, including memorable performances in The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus and Diary of a Wimpy Kid. He appeared in popular TV shows like iZombie, Supernatural, and Riverdale, his final acting credit. But just as his career seemed on the rise, his life took a tragic turn. Everything came crashing down on March 31st, 2020. In a horrific act, Grantham shot his own mother in the back of the head, reports the New York Times. It was a shocking crime, one that revealed a darker side to the young actor, a side no one could have ever predicted. Grantham didn't stop there. In the aftermath of the murder, he filmed a chilling confession, detailing the crime and even expressing plans to kill Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The weight of his actions began to sink in, and the young actor ultimately decided against carrying out his plan to harm the Prime Minister. Instead, he changed his mind and considered carrying out a mass shooting at his alma mater, Simon Fraser University, before deciding to turn himself in. Finally, he turned himself in to the authorities the very next day, his brief moment of terror and violence ending with a confession to police. Grantham was sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 14 years. His attorney, Chris Johnson, recently shared an update with TMZ, revealing that the actor was receiving psychological help and trying to come to terms with what had happened. "He advised me that he's doing well, getting the help he needs, and has gained some insight into what happened and why," Johnson said. "He regrets what he did to his mother." While Grantham's story is one of talent lost to tragedy, it also serves as a painful reminder of the fragility of the human mind and the terrifying consequences that can arise from the darkest corners of one's psyche. The shocking descent of Ryan Grantham from a promising young actor to a convicted murderer is a tale that will likely haunt the industry for years to come. It raises questions about the pressures of fame, mental health, and the devastating impact of one impulsive, irreversible decision. His story, from the heights of Hollywood to the confines of a prison cell, is a tragic one. A story of loss, regret, and the haunting echo of a life that could have been. Zachary Horwitz. In August 2019, actor Zach Avery, whose real name is Zach Horwitz, gave an interview to the film blog Loud and Clear, discussing his life and career. He shared that he once dreamed of playing professional football until an injury steered him toward studying human behavior at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. This path eventually led him to acting and a move to Los Angeles, where he began to build his career. Horwitz explained that his background in psychology helped him as an actor, allowing him to better understand the motivations behind characters' actions. He started with minor roles and got his big break in 2017 with The Devil Below. His career gained momentum with a notable role in The Last Movie Star alongside Burt Reynolds, earning critical praise. He also appeared in 3 Days with Dad with Ray Romano and a guest role on The Rookie in 2018. However, just 2 years later, it was revealed that Horwitz had used his knowledge of human behavior for something far darker. He was arrested and charged with running a Ponzi scheme. The scheme, which began in 2014, saw Horwitz funneling millions of dollars through his shell company, One in Capital. The company was marketed as a film distribution business, claiming to secure foreign film rights for major platforms like HBO and Netflix. To gain investors' trust, Horwitz fabricated film license agreements and sent fake messages from HBO and Netflix employees. However, when investors started complaining about unpaid debts in 2019, Horwitz resorted to more lies, sending fabricated emails and text messages to reassure them. Meanwhile, Horwitz spent the stolen money on extravagant luxuries, including a $55,000 luxury watch subscription, $124,000 in Vegas trips, and nearly $2 million in credit card bills. He also allegedly purchased the rights to films like The Hottie and The Naughty, which were described as laughably bad. In February 2022, Horwitz was sentenced to 20 years in prison for operating the Ponzi scheme, which defrauded investors of at least $650 million. He was also ordered to pay over $230 million in restitution. Prosecutors described him as a man who falsely portrayed himself as a successful Hollywood insider, using his alleged connections with streaming platforms to manipulate and deceive investors. Michael Jace. Michael Jace, known for his role as a police officer in the acclaimed TV series The Shield, shocked the world in 2014 when he tragically shot his wife, April Jace, in their Los Angeles home. The crime was driven by jealousy and rage. April, who had been planning to divorce him, allegedly had a relationship with another man. a notion that consumed Jace with suspicion and fury. On May 19, 2014, April returned to their home, and then Jace shot his wife April, an elite medal-winning sprinter, in the back as their young sons, ages 5 and 8, looked on from their bedroom. Afterward, he called 911 and confessed to the crime, admitting to killing his wife. Prosecutors said Jace then shot his wife in the legs before telling her, "If you like running, then run to heaven." The brutal scene left their children traumatized and forever impacted by their father's actions. But the tragedy wasn't an isolated incident. Jace had a history of violent behavior. During a 2005 custody battle with his first wife, a sworn statement revealed that Jace had previously choked and assaulted her, even slamming her against a wall. This dark side of his personality had been hidden behind his professional career, which spanned 2 decades. Jace was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. At his sentencing, Jace said, "There is absolutely no justification for my actions on that night. I am profoundly sorry for the pain that I've caused everyone." Throughout his acting career, Jace appeared in several notable TV shows and films. He was best known for his role in The Shield, a gritty drama about a corrupt police force, and for his part in the police procedural Southland. He also played basketball legend Michael Jordan in the made-for-TV movie Michael Jordan, An American Hero. Despite his professional success, Jace's personal life would ultimately overshadow his acting career, as he now faces decades behind bars for a crime that left his family and fans devastated. Danny Masterson. Danny Masterson's journey to fame began at a young age. As a child and teenager, he made appearances on TV shows such as Jake and the Fat Man, Roseanne, and Sybil. He even played a role in the beloved family film Beethoven's Second. But it was his portrayal of Stephen Hyde, the snarky and rebellious teenager on Fox's smash hit comedy That 70s Show, that catapulted him into stardom. For 8 seasons, audiences tuned in to watch Masterson and his co-stars bring the quirky dynamics of 1970s-era Wisconsin to life, solidifying his place as a household name. When the series concluded in 2006, Masterson turned his attention to other ventures. He explored his passion for music, building a side career as a DJ under the moniker DJ Mom Jeans, and later returned to television in Netflix's The Ranch, where he reunited with That 70s Show co-star Ashton Kutcher. But behind the scenes, a far darker story was unfolding, one that would eventually lead to the actor's dramatic fall from grace. In 2017, the Los Angeles Police Department launched an investigation into Masterson after 3 women accused him of sexual assault. The allegations, which dated back to 2001 to 2003, described harrowing incidents that reportedly occurred in Masterson's Hollywood home. As details emerged, they painted a picture of repeated abuse and coercion, shattering the image of the charismatic star audiences had come to know. By June 2020, Masterson was arrested on charges of forcible rape. Although he was released on bail, the legal battle had only just begun. His first trial, held in December 2022, ended in a mistrial after the jury failed to reach a unanimous verdict. However, the case did not end there. Masterson faced a second trial in May 2023, and this time the outcome was definitive. He was convicted on 2 counts of rape, while the jury remained deadlocked on a 3rd charge. Following the conviction, Masterson was taken into custody and remained behind bars as he awaited sentencing. In September 2023, Judge Charlene F. Olmedo handed down a sentence that made headlines: 30 years to life in prison. The decision marked the culmination of years of legal proceedings and intense public scrutiny. William Hayden. From 2011 to 2014, the Discovery Channel scored a reality TV hit with Sons of Guns, tracking the day-to-day activities of Red Jacket, a weapons store in Louisiana, and the family who ran it. Shop owner William Hayden was front and center for most of the series' episodes. Right around the time that Sons of Guns wrapped up its run in 2014, Hayden was arrested for multiple sexual assaults on a minor. The accuser testified that in 2013 and 2014, when she was 11 and 12, Hayden raped her several times in his truck and at his home. During the trial, another woman came forward and took the stand to recount Hayden's two sexual assaults in the early 1990s, when she was 12 and 13 years old. Hayden faced another charge when his daughter accused him of sexual assault. For all of those sex crimes committed against minors, Hayden was found guilty in 2017 of forcible and aggravated rape, and was sentenced to 2 simultaneous life sentences and an additional 40 years. In another proceeding later in 2017, a judge handed down a third life sentence, Shannon Richardson. In 2013, Shannon Richardson, an actress with a minor role on The Walking Dead, became infamous not for her acting, but for her involvement in a chilling bioterrorism plot. According to the Texarkana Gazette, Richardson pleaded guilty to charges of developing, producing, possessing, and transferring a deadly toxin, ricin, with the intent to use it as a weapon. The targets of her poison-laced letters were none other than then-President Barack Obama, New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and Michael Glaze, an employee of Mayors Against Illegal Guns. Her actions sent shockwaves across the nation. Richardson's scheme was as reckless as it was dangerous. Using castor beans, she concocted the deadly ricin toxin in the home she shared with her husband and 4 children. Astonishingly, she carried out this criminal endeavor while pregnant. Adding another layer of deceit, she purchased supplies for the plot with a credit card and account under her husband's name, attempting to implicate him in her crime. The letters, laced with ricin, included rants about gun control. Richardson even planted fake evidence in her husband's car and lunchbox to frame him. Despite her meticulous efforts to shift the blame, the FBI swiftly unraveled the truth. Their investigation revealed her direct involvement, thanks to the toxic correspondence and the trail of purchases tied back to her. When the case went to court, Richardson's shocking actions earned her an 18-year prison sentence. She is currently serving her time at a federal prison in Fort Worth, Texas, with no chance of parole. Her projected release date is 2029. What makes this story even more disturbing is the juxtaposition of Richardson's life as a mother and an actress with her calculated and malicious plot. Her actions not only endangered the lives of prominent public figures, but also betrayed the trust of those closest to her. Todd and Julie Chrisley. Todd and Julie Chrisley gained fame as the stars of the reality show Chrisley Knows Best, which debuted in 2014. The show followed the couple, their 5 children, and their lavish lifestyle in the South. Todd, a successful real estate tycoon, was known for his strict parenting and business-savvy approach to managing his family. The show's popularity led to several spin-offs, including, according to Chrisley, What's Cooking with Julie Chrisley, and the podcast Chrisley Confessions. However, in August 2019, the Chrisleys faced serious legal troubles. They were indicted on charges of evading nearly $2 million in state taxes, hiding income from the IRS, and falsifying financial documents to secure over $30 million in loans. The couple initially pleaded not guilty, and in a surprising turn, state tax charges were dropped 2 months later after the Georgia Department of Revenue found they actually owed less than $77,000 due to an incorrect filing. Despite this, the federal charges of bank fraud and tax evasion stuck. Prosecutors revealed that Todd and Julie had fabricated documents to deceive banks and the IRS while maintaining their extravagant lifestyle. They made up documents and lied through their teeth to get whatever they wanted, said Assistant U.S. Attorney Annalise Peters. After a lengthy trial, Todd and Julie were found guilty in 2022 of conspiracy to commit bank fraud, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and tax fraud. Julie was also convicted of wire fraud. Todd received a 12-year sentence while Julie was sentenced to 7 years. Both are serving their sentences in Florida, Todd at FPC Pensacola and Julie at FMC Lexington. Their sentences were later adjusted, with Todd's release date set for 2033 and Julie's for 2028. Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic first captured the public's attention with the explosive release of Netflix's 2020 documentary series Tiger King. The series delved into the bizarre and often dangerous world of big cat collectors, with Joe Exotic, the owner of the GW Zoo in Wynwood, Oklahoma, at the center of it all. Exotic, known for his flamboyant personality, was not only a zoo owner but also a failed country music singer, self-proclaimed gun enthusiast, and political candidate. His outlandish lifestyle, filled with eccentricities and drama, drew millions of viewers. However, it wasn't just Exotic's colorful personality that made Tiger King such a sensation. The series also focused on his bitter feud with Carole Baskin, an animal rights activist who ran the Big Cat Rescue Sanctuary in Florida. This feud escalated to the point where Exotic allegedly went so far as to attempt to have Baskin murdered. For $3,000, Exotic hired a hitman in a failed plot to eliminate Baskin once and for all. The authorities quickly caught wind of the scheme, leading to a series of investigations that exposed a disturbing pattern of criminal behavior. Exotic's crimes extended far beyond the murder-for-hire plot. According to reports from CNN, he was found guilty of killing 5 tigers that he claimed were surplus, selling baby lemurs under the guise of donations, and violating multiple wildlife regulations. The illegal activities at his zoo, including inhumane treatment of animals and unsanitary conditions, were also exposed. His reckless disregard for both the law and the animals he claimed to care for led to his arrest. In January 2020, Joe Exotic was sentenced to 22 years in federal prison for his role in the murder-for-hire scheme and the other charges related to animal cruelty. He was also ordered to serve 3 years of supervised release following his sentence. Although Exotic managed to shave 1 year off his sentence after a previous appeal, his hopes for further reduction were dashed in 2022 when the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit rejected his bid to reduce his sentence by an additional 8.5 years. Jishonte Joe's son. Joe's son, who first gained attention with minor roles in low-budget action films during the 1990s, such as Shoot Fighter, Fighter to the Death and Blood Fist 5, Human Target, later landed a more notable role in Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery as the villainous henchman, Random Task. His character, a parody of the iconic James Bond villain Odd Job, was one of the few memorable moments in the film. However, Son's Hollywood career was overshadowed by his involvement in heinous criminal activity that would eventually lead to his downfall. In 1990, on Christmas Eve, Son was implicated in a horrific crime. He participated in the kidnapping, brutal assault, torture, and gang rape of a woman. Though these crimes occurred years before he became known for his roles in film, justice was delayed. In 2008, an unrelated case revealed DNA evidence that linked Son to the 1990 crime, and in 2011, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for his involvement in the attack. But Son's criminal history didn't end there. While serving his life sentence, the former mixed martial arts fighter, known for his aggressive combat skills, murdered his prison cellmate. In a violent outburst, Son kicked and punched the man to death. Prosecutors sought a second life sentence for the crime, but the jury convicted him of voluntary manslaughter instead, adding another 27 years to his already lengthy sentence. The shocking series of events, his role in the brutal assault, his violent prison killing, and the subsequent legal battles, has turned Son from a familiar face in B-movie action films into a notorious figure, with his life sentence stretching far beyond what anyone could have imagined when he first appeared on screen. Jared Fogle. You probably remember a man named Jared Fogle from the Subway sandwich commercials. When he was just 20 years old, he weighed over 400 pounds. He decided to change his life in 1998 by exercising and eating 2 sandwiches from Subway every day. He lost more than half of his body weight in less than 1 year, according to the Los Angeles Times. He then appeared in a Men's Health article and soon became a spokesman for Subway, appearing in his first commercial for the sandwich shop in 2000. He had parlayed his weight loss into an income-earning gig. A few years later, things took a very dark turn. During a plea deal with authorities in 2015, he confessed to receiving child pornography and having sex with minors, according to NPR. He was involved in interstate travel to pay for sex and possessed 400 videos of illicit pornography. Even worse, many of the videos were sent to him by the head of his charity, according to prosecutors in the case against him. Fogle was sentenced to over 15 years in prison and won't be eligible for parole until he served at least 13 years. Fogle was also reportedly ordered to pay restitution to 14 minors that he assaulted to the tune of $1.4 million. Amy Locane. Amy Locane, once a rising star in Hollywood, gained early recognition with a recurring role as Andrea Winger in the short-lived 1980s sitcom Spencer. While her time on the small screen continued for a few more years, it wasn't long before she transitioned to film. In 1989, she appeared in Lost Angels, a drama alongside Donald Sutherland and Adam Horwitz. However, her career truly took off with the 1990 cult classic Cry Baby, a comedy musical where she starred alongside Johnny Depp and Ricki Lake. Throughout the 1990s, Locane's star continued to rise with appearances in a variety of projects, including the popular TV series Melrose Place, the critically acclaimed drama Blue Sky, and the biographical film Prefontaine, solidifying her place in Hollywood. But just as it seemed her career was on the up and up, tragedy struck, and it wasn't just her career that would take a devastating hit. In 2010, after attending a wrap party for a theater production, Locane made a catastrophic decision. She drank heavily that night, and on her way home, she caused not 1, but 2 car accidents. The first crash, which might have been seen as an unfortunate mistake, was only the beginning. In the second accident, Locane crashed into the vehicle of Fred Seaman, causing horrific consequences. Helene Seaman, Fred's wife, was killed in the crash. The tragic loss of life changed everything for Locane. The actress was found guilty of 2 charges related to the accidents and was initially sentenced to 5 years in prison. However, the sentence was later reduced to 3 years, a move that sparked controversy given the severity of the incident. But the legal troubles for Amy Locane did not end with her initial conviction. Despite serving time, her sentence remained a point of contention. In 2020, after a series of appeals and legal battles, the courts decided that her original sentence had not been harsh enough. Locane was sentenced to an additional 8 years in prison at Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for Women to bring the full weight of her actions to bear. Her case became a glaring example of how even those once beloved by the public can find their lives upended by a single reckless act. Zara Fithian. Zara Fithian, known for her role in Doctor Strange, 2016, has been sentenced to 8 years in prison for sexually abusing a 15-year-old girl. Her husband, Victor Mark, 59, also received 14 years after being described by Judge Mark Watson as the driving force behind the abuse. Fithian was convicted of 14 counts of sexual activity with a child dating from 2005 to 2008, when the girl was 13. Mark faced the same 14 charges, plus 4 additional counts of indecent assault against another girl from 2002 to 2003, when she was 15. However, Fithian and Mark have reportedly denied all allegations from both plaintiffs before being found guilty. The first victim described looking up to Fithian, who was working as a martial arts instructor in Nottinghamshire at the time, as was Mark. She claimed Fithian and Mark gave her alcohol before Fithian dared her to perform oral sex on Mark, who reportedly was not yet married to Fithian, but to another woman. She told police that Mark told her no one would believe her and threatened to harm her if she said anything, adding of the couple, "They always had a power over me," BBC News reported. Then the second victim also said Mark began having sex with her when she was 16. The case has shocked many, especially given her previous role as a respected martial artist and stunt performer. Both she and her husband, Victor Mark, now face significant prison time for their crimes, with the victim's courage in coming forward highlighting the importance of justice in such cases. Wie destoiste Colin Walker. Colin K.R. Walker, best known for his role in Superfly, was sentenced to 50 years to life in prison on Monday after being convicted of raping 4 women and 3 teenage girls he met on social media. The 27-year-old actor was also ordered to register as a sex offender for life, according to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. Deputy District Attorney Cynthia Wallace described him as truly a predator. In April, a jury found Walker guilty of multiple charges, including 3 counts of forcible rape, 2 counts of statutory rape, and 2 counts of rape by intoxication. However, he was acquitted of some charges, including 1 count of digital penetration. Walker used Instagram and Twitter to lure women, including aspiring models, with promises of professional opportunities and celebrity meetings. Over 2 years, he assaulted several victims after getting them alone, ignoring their pleas to stop. Authorities first arrested Walker in 2018 after linking him to the series of assaults. Before his criminal conviction, Walker had appeared in Kings with Halle Berry and Daniel Craig, as well as in Contempt and the Superfly remake. He also pursued a rap career, releasing his EP The Intermission in 2017. Following the verdict, Walker's lawyer, Andrew Flyer, maintained his client's innocence, claiming he had not received a fair trial and planned to appeal. Flyer argued that key issues were excluded during the trial and that Walker had been unfairly portrayed as a monster. These actors, once at the peak of fame, now face the harsh reality of their actions. Their fall from grace reminds us that no one is untouchable, and fame can be fleeting. What do you think? Surprised by these shocking stories, or did you see it coming? If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe for updates. We've got more to uncover. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.